It has been 18 days since the militant group Hamas attacked Israel. On that fateful day, the militant group took several hostages with them as they returned to Gaza. And now the pressure is intensifying on Israel to negotiate the release of more than 200 people held by Hamas. Desperate families are begging the officials to help free their loved ones before an anticipated ground invasion. Hamas released two elderly women who were among the hostages taken when the militant group attacked kibbutz. A spokesperson from Hamas mentioned that the two hostages were released following mediation by Qatar and Egypt. The women and their husbands were taken hostage in the attack on their kibbutz home. The husbands are still in Hamas captivity. The released hostage said her captors took her into tunnels and treated her well. A doctor visited her and made sure that she and other hostages received the prescribed medicine, which they had been using in Israel. Recounting the horror, one of the released Israeli women said she was bitten by the militants. She was put on a motorbike and driven from her kibbutz region into nearby Gaza.
My mom is telling the horrific stories. She's saying that many people, a swarm of people, came through the fence. The fence cost 2.5 billion shekels, and it didn't help even a little bit. My mom is saying that she was taken on the back of a motorbike with her body, with her legs on one side and her head on another side. That she was taken through the plowed fields with a man in front on one side and a man behind her, and that while she was being taken, she was hit by sticks by Shabab people.
We lay there on mattresses. They really took care of the sanitation, so we didn't get sick. And we had a doctor who came every 2 or 3 days to see how we were doing. And the medic took care and made sure to give us medication.
This is the second time that Hamas released hostages. The first was when the militant group freed two U.S. women, a mother and daughter. According to an Israeli military spokesperson, Hamas is still holding more than 212 people in Gaza. Officials are also working to identify and locate those missing after the deadly incursion by Hamas. But the patience is running out. Crowds are gathering outside the president's house, singing songs of mourning and demanding the immediate release of their loved ones.
אני לא מדינאית ואני ולא אשת ביטחון. אני אימא דואגת, יש לי 2 ילדות קטנות, אני רוצה אותן פה. יש לי המון תקווה, יש לי אמונה, אני דורשת מהממשלה שלי, מהצבא, שיחזירו לי את הבנות שלי ואת כל החטופים, את החיילים. אני דורשת מהעולם שיעשה את זה כבר, שלא ישבו במשרדים וידברו ויעשו מסיבות עיתונאים, שיחזירו עכשיו.
I always knew how much he loved me. I never knew how much I loved him. He always used to care about me. He's like this big man, but he's the most sensitive and gentle and always caring for his children, for us. So I would tell him how much I love him and how much I miss him. And how much I'm doing everything I can, which is not much, but everything I can to bring them back.
The pressure is not just piling up from the inside of Israel, but it is happening from the outside as well. Many of the hostages were citizens or dual nationals of countries around the world, including Israel's closest allies. Unconfirmed reports say Hamas might be considering the release of hostages with dual nationalities. 50 such hostages are being held by Hamas. The time is crucial for the hostages. The hostages' lives remain at stake, with Israel yet to launch its counteroffensive in Gaza. Fears are mounting that once the operation begins, freeing further hostages will be an impossibility. Although Washington is pressing Israel to delay its ground invasion to allow negotiations for the release of the American hostages and humanitarian aid to flow into the Gaza Strip, the United States considers getting the release of hostages a top priority. Hamas, on the other hand, has alleged that Israel is not serious about negotiating the release of the hostages. It even claimed that Israel had declined to receive 2 more hostages that they were willing to release on humanitarian grounds. Israel has dismissed Hamas's claim as propaganda. Meanwhile, U.S. President Joe Biden said there will not be any talks of a Gaza ceasefire till all hostages are freed. The U.S. president also abruptly ended a press conference on Monday due to an issue that he said required him to go into the White House Situation Room. Biden was speaking to the journalists about the hostage situation in Israel when he interrupted the briefing.
I apologize. I have to go to the Situation Room with another issue I have to deal with. But thank you, thank you, thank you.
Biden's abrupt exit triggered speculation as to what was the urgent issue that he had to deal with. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.